Hi, this is Edward Troxel. In today's tutorial we're going to expand on the last one where we went through the bins in the media list so that we can now look for any items that are in the bin and then add them to the timeline so that we know which ones we have missed. That will allow us to easily find items that we have not yet added to the timeline so that we can then use them in our project. Let's start by looking at this particular project. You can see I have several things on the timeline here. I have several images at the beginning of the timeline, and then we have several videos added to the timeline, and then there's a few more images here added at the end of the timeline. And if we go through and look at our bin, we can see that we have a video usage and audio usage column. So we can see that, for example, 17 has been used twice, and if we click this down arrow it shows us the two places it has been used. 16 has been used once, but we can see 18 has not been used at all because there is no entry at all under video usage. If we scroll down we can see several ones, then we have several blanks, then we have some images that are blank, then we have some images that have 2, some more images that are blank, some more images that are 1, and some more images that are blank. So all the ones that are blank have not been used in this particular project. So let's look and see what it's going to take to be able to use them. For this example, I'm going to add them all starting at the cursor location. We will just put them on tracks V2 and A2 as needed if they have audio with them. We are only going to be looking at the video clips, so I'm not worried about audio ones on this one, but it could be modified to work with audio. So let's take a look at our code. First of all, we're going to start just like we did last time. We got our sequence, even though we did not use it in the last video, we are going to be using it in this one. We are not going to be using the QE side, so this line really is not necessary, and this line really is not necessary. But then we're going to go through the read through bin list just like we did last time. We're going to pass it the root item, and it's going to go through every bin that's available. Look to see if the video has been used. If it has not, then it's going to add it to V1. So let's take a look at our read through bin list routine again. I've made some modifications to it. So to begin with, we're going to get our cursor time, and that is mySequence.getPlayerPosition. Then I'm specifying that I'm going to add new items to video track index number 1, which would be track V2. And then if audio is needed, it's going to be added onto index number 1, which is A2. Now, just like the last time, we're going to go through all the children in the bin. So we get the ith child, and then if we have a child, we look at the type. If it is a bin, then we call this routine again to go through that bin, and that way it goes through every bin automatically. So if it is not a bin, then we need to do something else. Last time we just showed a message showing what bin it was looking at and the name of the current child in that bin. Now we need to do something different. First of all, we need to get our vid count. In other words, how many times has this video been used? To do that, I'm calling a video used routine, and I'm passing the current child to it. We'll look at the video used routine in just a second. If the vid count comes back as null, that means that it has not been used. So what I'm going to do is go to mySequence.overwriteClip, and then I'm going to pass it the current child, the cursor time, and then the two indexes that we specified. The clip that it found will now be added at that location. Now I need to move the cursor forward so that we can add the next clip after this clip. So the cursor time.seconds equals the cursor time.seconds plus the current child.getOutPoint.seconds. The length of the child that we just added, we're going to move the cursor that far forward. So that part seems easy enough. The problem is this video used. How do we determine whether or not the video was used? So let's go down and look at that routine. Here's the video used routine. If you remember before, we had some checks to see if a clip was video or had audio. And this is basically using the exact same method. First thing we have to do is define this external object. If it was undefined, then we have to load this here. Then I'm going to set the video count to null. Then we set this URI, and for our property, we're going to be looking at video usage. So then we get our metadata from the clip, convert our metadata, and then we're going to say, did we find the video count? In other words, does this property exist? If this property does exist, then I'm going to get the video count from that clip. Either way, I'm going to return the video clip. So if it has not been used, found video clip will be false, and it will simply return the null that we specified up here. If it is true, then it will read the property video usage and put it into video count. So let's run this and see what happens. Premiere is running. We come over here. We can see all the clips are being added to the timeline. And so it went through all of the clips that had not been used, and it added them starting at the cursor location and moving them over as each one was added. So using these routines, we can easily add all of the items that have not yet been used to a track, and then we can easily go through that track and add them into the project as needed. Please sign up at www.jettv.com and subscribe on YouTube to get further notifications on when new videos are presented.